and welcome to a new video. Today I am making a corset because I love making corsets. Back when I did my Victorian corset that went under my Clara costume, I did that with the help of the second volume of this book, which is the Stays Corsets by Mandy Barrington. And I mentioned then that I would really love to work through every corset in her series. So today I am finally going to start that little series. And we're going to start with the corset or stays pattern number 1 in the first book. The first pattern in the book is the original 1735 to 50 fully boned corset bodice pattern. Probably won't bone it as much as that. That's a lot of boning. This is my fabric, this absolutely stunning dragonfly print. I just thought this color was so pretty. And I also really like the gold color on the other side as well. But before I can start cutting into that stunning fabric, I need to do some patterning. All my pieces now cut out, and I have used this cotton drill for a slightly sturdier inner lining because this is a bit shifty. Now I've just really got to figure out how I want to put it together. As I said in my last video doing a corset from one of these books, they only do the pattern drafting. There's no construction instructions. So if you've never made a corset before or you've never sewn before, they're probably not beginner friendly. Advanced beginner who kind of knows how to put something together, you could probably get away with it. But for this corset, this particular one, I'm trying to decide whether I want to do it as a flat-lined corset where I sew the lining layer to the fabric layer and treat them as one piece, and then sew them to the next piece and the next piece and the next piece. Or whether I want to sew the lining pieces all together and the fabric pieces all together and then join them sort of around the outside. So I'm not sure which would be the best way with this one. I've decided that I am going to sew each fabric type together in its entirety. So all the lining pieces together and then all the fashion fabric pieces, and then I will sandwich them. Also, something I'm doing to make my life easier with this first part of the sewing process is I am not cutting the tabs. I have marked where they go, but I will cut them after these two pieces of fabric are together and just before I'm about to bind them. Because otherwise this type of fabric frays quite easily, so it could end up who knows what if I were to cut it now and then spend the next little while sewing it and manhandling it. I've only just cut it and you can already see up the top it's like fraying out. So that's why I'm leaving this section as it is. Lining pieces all together. Now it's time to work with the pretty fabric. I've now got my two sides together, and now I need to make them into one, which I think is going to involve a lot of pins because this fabric likes to move around a lot. So when it comes to like following lines, I'm going to use this fabric, which hasn't moved and is pretty much the same size it was when I cut it out, and this fabric, which is all over the shop, well, we'll just make it fit. I've now got my layers together with this sort of stitch line around the top and bottom. Some of this stitching I will have to undo when I put the bones in, because obviously it's going in between the two layers and there's currently no openings. But this at least holds it together and where it needs to be while I do the boning channels, because I still need to stitch those. But first I'm going to finish my front and back edges because they're not done and I haven't stitched them at all. But what I'm going to do with that is fold in the seam allowance on both pieces like so, and I will just slip stitch that because I want the stitching right on the edge so I can fit a boning channel in against that edge. My edges are finished at the front and backs of both pieces, and oh, this fabric is just so pretty. I love it so much. I can't wait to finish these and try them on. Now I am going to mark my boning channels and also my grommet placement. And I may have to do some interesting finagling in the back panel here because, as you can see, it's a very small panel at this point, and in their diagram they have boning, grommets, boning, all in this little section, and I don't know that my boning is small enough that I will be able to fit that much in this little section. It might be a bit tight. So yeah, I will sort of want to measure all that out now so that I can see what I can fit in. The other panels aren't going to be so much of an issue. And I am doing this construction differently to the book. In the book, the corset that they're referencing, it was actually finished, all the boning was finished and then the pretty fabric was put on top so that the boning channels didn't go through the fashion fabric. But I really like the look of boning channels, so that's why I'm doing it this way. So there are options to your corset construction. But let's mark some lines on this. My two sides now have all their boning and grommets done. All I need to do now to finish them off is to add the binding to the edges, and I also need to cut open the bottom tabs and see where everything's lying, because my lines have kind of disappeared in all the moving around. And I have decided, rather than joining this strap to here, which is part of the pattern and I was going to do, I think I'm going to round off the edges instead and bind them and make it so it has a ribbon closure, just for a bit of extra fanciness. So, and adjustability also. First I need to cut out some bias out of my leftover fabric, and we can get onto that. I finished the top edges on both pieces, and now I've moved on to the bottom, and I've just cut open my tabs. So now I get to do the really fun job of trying to get that under the machine with all the boning in the way. It's gonna be really fun, but let's tackle it. And it's so pretty. This fabric is just like the most stunning fabric for this sort of corset bodice stays thing, I think. I'm so happy with how these turned out. And I actually just got back from wearing this outfit, my generic hobbit. I just got back from wearing this out to Comic-Con because I finished this ensemble last night and today was Comic-Con, so I was like, well, I didn't plan for wearing anything to there, and it's really hot. I don't want to wear Clara. This could be fun. So this is my hobbit look now, and it's comfortable, it's not too hot, and I got a lot of compliments on this bodice and the fabric even. A lot of people were like, where's the fabric from? And I was like, Spotlight. It's not fancy fabric, it just looks stunning. It was a pain to work with all its fraying, but I think worth it for this Now I think I need to make more Hobbit inspired outfits or more Lord of the Rings type things. I would love to make Eowyn's outfits. She has stunning ones, I think. Her shield maiden dress. Yes, I want that. So let me know which Lord of the Rings character you'd like to see done, and I will try to do it because I would love to do more Lord of the Rings characters. I'm so happy with how these stays turned out, and also this entire outfit. Like, I made this skirt this week to go with this bodice because I was like, I need something neutral to go under it. And then, but this is actually a chemise. This was one I made 2 years ago now. But I hand sewed this, and then I sewed the skirt, and then I sewed the bodice. Like, this full outfit I have sewn, and I just think there's something special and magical about that. That I made everything I'm wearing, except, you know, my underwear. I haven't got to that level yet. Let me know if you think I should, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!